That tells you there, the engineer, the secretary, he's not the chairman. The council of the city of East Cleveland may from time to time amend, repeal, or adopt any or all of the provision of the district of zoning ordinance, but no amendment, repeal, or adopted shall be passed until the council shall have held a public hearing thereon and shall have given at least 5 days notice of the time and place there are in a newspaper. That has not taken place. This is the charter I'm reading from. So I want the people to have it. If they have it, I want it to have it right, where it won't come back to bite you in the posterior. So do your due diligence. You, all of the zoning, all of the boards that are put in place, you have authority of some of them to appoint yourself. No, I'm not telling you.
Mr. O'Mays, I have not said anything,
I know.
so move on.
I know, because you didn't time in the rest of them.
Quickly.
But after, they make the recommendation to this council. Whether they find it. The zoning board makes their recommendation to this council. This council can either approve it, object it, amend it, or throw it out altogether. You have that thought. It's all in here.
Your time is up.
And since you don't know where it's at, it's 85B in the charter.
Mr. O'Mays,
And
thank you.
and then they close with this, ma'am. It should be.
O'Mays,
Let me just close with this, Mrs. Thomas. Just a moment.
Mr. O'Mays, I let
interrupt
you
me.
go. Now you can please sit down.
And it's a
Mr.
U4
O'Mays.
zoning. It's not U1, U2.
Mr. O'Mays.
Because U2 and
Thank you.
U1 is resident, and U3
Thank
is
you, Mr.
commercial,
O'Mays.
and U4 is what you want, skating ring and all that kind of stuff, activity. That's what your zoning
Mr.
would
O'Mays,
be,
thank
U4.
you. Thank you.
And if you don't do it that way,
Response of the council and.
You got one more. You got one more.
Oh, okay.
Come on up, bro.
Hi, my name is Shock. I was just curious as to the situation on the salt.
Good question.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now we get to, since the mayor's not here and he doesn't have a designee, we will move on. What?
Can I say something?
Of course.
I'm running the camera too, so.
Okay.
Gerald Struthers, 44112 News. I've been with these people when they came to the BZA meeting, which was two before. They came with all the stuff to prepare, all the stuff you guys were asking if they had. And I kind of felt bad when they asked them to do a presentation because they had a great presentation at that meeting. But they didn't get a chance to even do it because when they set it up, the manager started saying approve, 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 approve. Now, the Board of Zoning Appeal people, they wanted to hear a little bit of what they're trying to do. They want to hear it, but they didn't get a chance to because everything was just zipped through. It's on 44112 News. That's one thing. The second thing was, of course, on the website we're talking about, I Want My MTV. I talked to you about that earlier.
Yes, we did.
We now have Time Warner and AT&T at our disposal. If we can convince them to now run their cables in there, we can get rid of this East Cleveland cable and the Norton network and all that stuff we've been fighting about can be done with better service, lower rates. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Pardon me.
Lower rates.
Mr. O'Mays, now I'm gonna have to ask you to please hold your comments. You had the opportunity to do that. There's another resident standing up here trying to present something, and he's got minutes too. So please, go ahead, Mr. Struthers.
It's okay. So anyways, the thing now is for us to try and get AT&T and Time Warner, who's now been bought by some other company, they'll be with Charter Communications down the lower part of Ohio, to run those wires. I understand the upper people are getting AT&T and they're getting Time Warner up above. Now us people in the valley, we got to get those people to come. I think I sent it to Mansell and everybody about it. But I do want to tell you, these people have done everything they could ask to do. They've been put through the ringer. It was a mess at that last Board of Zoning Appeals thing. They hired people to come present for them, and the people were just drugged out because they really had it. They had some nice display. I did get a chance to see it. But I wish that somebody would have a little bit of respect for them as they come to these meetings now. And I know you guys don't know because you didn't see it in the meetings. The last BZA meeting wasn't even advertised, but I covered it. All they did was approve minutes. And the minutes they were approving were sort of meeting before, which really didn't have a whole lot of minutes because the mayor just said approved, approved, approved. I think you need to look at that tape and see what they did.
Thank you. First of all, I really appreciate, again, the Salvation Army coming, and I can't say how much I appreciate it, especially in Nicole. And Pastor Pinkney,
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate you coming, and every time you come to speak, I appreciate that. And all the residents that come up here to speak.
Thank you.
Mr. Ely, I appreciate you a whole lot because you did talk to me. And I didn't just fluff it off. I went and found out that the box that was used in this light was already back in our area, in the service department. The reason that it was out was based on the fact that the wires was all burnt out or whatever by poor installation, as you were saying. But neither here nor there, I don't think anybody disbelieved you because electrician that has went through the schooling and done what he was supposed to do to get that education is far more superior than a handyman. So I wanted you to know that. And the light is working, and I'm grateful to everybody that participated in the awareness coming forth and making things, making the public aware, making the media, then using the media in the right way this time instead of in the wrong way. And I appreciate Mr. Struthers. I also
I don't appreciate it.
I also want to say that to Mr. O'Mays, I don't think that I heard the law director take away any of the council's ability to waive or amend or do anything. I think I asked her for her opinion. Now, her opinion is an opinion that she gives based upon what we ask for. It can be rejected or accepted. So I don't think anybody up here was saying that we had lost any of our authority. And I don't think we needed you to tell us that. And Mr. Struthers, in regards to what you're saying as took place in the BZA meeting, we don't know what took place in the BZA meeting. Once we get the information and read the minutes and find out just what happened in the BZA and the Board of Zoning meeting, then when it is brought to us, we can either accept or reject at that point. But right now, we have a first reading. I didn't ask for a presentation from the illustrious Salvation Army. My council asked for that. So I provided that information with them if they wanted to speak on that. So based on what is going on here, I don't think we need to keep going over and over and over us following procedures. We're trying our best to follow the procedures, of which haven't been happened in the past. We're trying to correct things that has taken place in error. So I'm sure that we will all do the best we can and try to do the best we can. And Pastor Pinkney,
Yes,
I would
ma'am.
never shut you down because you mentioned the presidential election.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just not the proper place to do that. Okay?
I've just never been given the opportunity to do so,
Okay.
anywhere, in East Cleveland or anywhere else.
Okay, but we will do that at a time and a place when that needs to
Okay,
take
just let
place.
me know when that will be.
Thank you. Now we're talking about the other counselors. Is there any other council that, yes, sir?
And I meant no disrespect to you.
I know you did.
Members of the public, my colleagues, I rise to speak.
Okay.
Thank you. First of all, let me start on a positive note. This is African American History Month. For history, any history, to be relevant, it has to apply what happened in the past and what we do now. We need to be making history in terms of civic engagement. I want to thank ODOT, Ohio Department of Transportation, who fixed the box down there. I was there. I want to thank Calvin Irby, Gerald Struthers, who took the lead on this. They replaced the whole box, put a new box in there. Okay? They didn't have to do that. There were other entities that connected to make this possible. State Senator Kenny Yuko played a role. Some other individuals played a role, but it got done because we didn't have the resources to fix it. So we're thankful that that shows you when people come together, things can get done. But we were out there, Calvin Irby in the back and Mr. Struthers, at least 4 times, dealing with the situation when it was cold. And the media does what it does, but the bottom line is that it got fixed. When I think about our history, and I heard the racism issue come up, I looked at a program yesterday, I think it was History of the Negro or something on cable. And it just shows where we've come from and where we need to go. And I'm concerned about all the development going on downtown. And it's a good thing, but not enough going on in the neighborhoods. I know the Republicans are coming in here, good people, in 2016, but they're finna do a whole almost makeover downtown. But we're not getting enough in the neighborhoods. As I look out and think about that, it bothers me. We got the Global Center down there. We got all the sports teams, was a good thing. They're getting ready to do the square over. I mean, they're getting ready to pour in millions. And I don't knock economic development, but what kind of touches me is where is some of the money come out of the neighborhoods? Now, we have our financial challenges, and I have a request for the 3 individuals from Salvation Army. This is my request. We basically have a budget of $10 to $11 million. The state of Ohio has a rainy day fund close to $2 billion, not million, $2 billion. I'm asking you guys, if you will, and I'm working on it too, if you could write a letter asking the state to help us. Number one, we don't need to be merging with anybody. We have too much history going right back to John D. Rockefeller. But for $10 million, it may seem like a lot of money, but it's a drop in the bucket to the state of Ohio.
Right.
Put restrictions on the spending, monitor the spending like you're doing right now, and we could turn this thing around in 3 to 5 years.
Right.
So I'm asking you good people, and I know you're good people, you're good Christians, to make a phone call, write a letter, asking the governor to help us, because it stopped with him. David Yost answers to him. Okay, we have made a lot of mistakes, but I was sitting here, and I'm sharing with you, the Spirit touched me to just reach out to you guys. Good people. Write that letter. Because the $10 million and some of the irresponsibility over the years has been done. But we want to remain the city of East Cleveland. We just need better management, better fiscal management, and some economic development. And let me close with this to let you know that it's doable. Right next door to us, 50 feet away, is University Circle Incorporated, where they're putting billions down there. All in that little spot. And here's where the racism kicks in. They've tried their best to not come into East Cleveland, but they have to. We got the land, we got the location. So it's only a matter of time to turn it around, but I'm more trepidatious about gentrification. They come in here and everything goes up and they price the people out. So I'm asking you, and I'm going to close on this. Write that letter from your heart. Pray for us from your heart, because this $10 million, we can turn this around. It ain't a lot of money. And we can be solid, and we can be a city that continues to move forward. That's my request to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Council President, would you like for me to work with them?
I can't do that. I can't answer you now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Councilman Baker, is there any remarks? No response? Oh, Council Wheeler?
Once again, good evening. Moving quick.
Yeah.
Good. You know, I've been supportive of the administration for a while, and one thing that I do is I call it the way I see it. If it's real, it's real. If it's not, it's not. I have been baffled about the traffic light at Euclid and Wheeler for the longest. I couldn't understand. I asked the administration more than once what was the problem. They constantly told me it was a $20,000 to $30,000 fix that we don't have. So I even mentioned to them, I said, well, it's a state route. Can't we get state? No, it's our responsibility. After talking to everybody at the last meeting that we had, and then it went out and the state fixed it, because somebody made some calls and Kenny Yuko was involved at no cost. So that was the problem, because the problem to me is that means that's a lie. I have a problem with that, because I don't believe in lying. It is what it is. If you don't want to do it, just say you don't want to do it or whatever, you know. But don't lie. Don't lie until we're trying to work together. That bothers me. But you know, and then when you talk about the merger, City of Cleveland ward per ward has about 25,000 residents. We don't even have enough to make a ward. And from what I understand, not everybody in Cleveland is crazy about taking on East Cleveland, because Cleveland got their own problems. As he's talking about neighborhoods, Valencia's been on TV hollering and screaming about what they're not doing in his ward. Half their flowers are down in their city. Potholes are not being filled. So is that where we want to go? And you mean to tell me are we doing a merge because the city can't afford to sustain itself, or are we doing a merge because the administration don't know how to manage?
Exactly.
Right.
There you go.
I don't think we should merge because of the lack of their management. That's not fair to the people of the city.
That's right.
And we pay more than just city tax, county, state, federal. So we can get aid from other people, from other agencies as well. So the more closer we get to the date.
Amen.
But it's not, for me, it's not about size. It's about what's right for the city.
Right.
I don't care what anybody say or what they think or who's friends or what. I love the city. I was born in the city. I'll do everything I can to save it. Have a good evening. Thank you.
You know, I was been sitting up here waiting for my vice president to speak, and I had talked to him the other week, and I told him, I said, you know, it's time that, you know, a man of less words use a number of words to say what's important. So I think he said tonight, let everybody know where he stands. I don't think we have to go over and over and over about the merger or why it isn't. But you've seen what they said about the bankruptcy. Now you need to see what you're getting if you merge with Cleveland. And he just stood up here and told you. And I think basically all of us in this council is saying that we can stand on our own. We just need to know how to manage and put good leadership in office. That's all it takes. And once you do that, you don't have to worry about what else is going on. So take a second look when you're looking, and don't look one way, because sometimes you listen and you ain't listening right, and you listen to what people tell you. And there's another little phrase that I use that I quote from the Bible, Mr. O'May. don't have any and everybody praying for you.
I know that's
Okay.
right.
Thank you. It is now, what is it, 7:36, 7:37? I will entertain a, motion to
I
adjourn.
move that the meeting be adjourned.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Yeah.